This is a pattern recognition question, and it tells us the following. 4 times 9 is 20, 35, and then we're supposed to fill in the next blank. Fill in the blank. Actually, when we usually face pattern recognition problems, we must first observe whether the sequence is continuously increasing or decreasing. This one is obviously increasing. Generally, when we encounter such increasing sequences, we tend to use direct addition or direct multiplication methods. If we try direct addition, let's look at the difference between each pair of adjacent numbers. For example, from 4 to 9, the difference is 5. You have to add 5 to get from 4 to 9. From 9 to 20, you have to add 11. From 20 to 35, you add 15. But the numbers being added don't really follow any pattern, right? So this addition method doesn't really work. What about multiplication? If we try multiplying, we're looking for a multiplicative relationship between each pair of adjacent numbers. From 4 to 9, 9 to 20, and 20 to 35. There isn't any obvious multiplicative relationship either. So next, let's use a third method, which is to break the numbers down first and then look for a pattern. What does breaking down mean? It means expressing each number as the product of two numbers. For example, take this 4, for instance. I can break it down into 2 times 2. Then what about this 9? I can break it down into 3 times 3. Next, for 20, I can break it down into 4 times 5. Then for this 35, how can we break it down? Into 5 times 7. Some students might ask, how do we find a pattern after breaking them down like this? Even if you haven't noticed any pattern up to this point, I can still determine that the next number can also be broken down into two numbers, right? In the form of multiplication, right? So here we have one number, and here we have another number, and the two are multiplied together. Now let's look at the first factor in each multiplication. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what about the next number? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now let's look at the second digit. That's 2, 3, 5, 7. What's the pattern here? It's not as obvious as the previous one, right? Actually, 2, 3, 5, 7 are called consecutive prime numbers. What is a prime number? It's a number that has no factors other than 1 and itself. Let's continue. 2, 3, 5, 7. What's the next prime number? 11, right? So in this case, the number we need to fill in is 6 times 11, which should be 66. And with that, we've finished this problem.